So my mind has definitely been spinning more and more with different thoughts, as it gets closer to this serious expedition that I'm about to take. And I keep asking myself, why you do it or why we do the things we do. I mean, especially when it comes to extreme fitness things or extreme mileage or extreme obstacle stuff. I mean, it's definitely a mind over matter. Your mind strength has to be in tune with your physical strength, and then you have to coincide as one to really exercise success in these things. And I've always been a pretty good physical guy over my life. Always like working out, always like working on my body. Um, Definitely always wanted to be great with strength and power. I always had natural strength base. I was always naturally strong. But when I stepped into the league of these races, it had a lot to do with the inner me trying to get fully developed. As we grow through life, we do a lot of things. We make a lot of choices, and we don't have the answers to. And it's not till later in life that you're educated in a different level of thinking that you start to look back on why you did this and why you did that. Or if you're one that's guided by faith, your faith wasn't as strong as it is today. So we do a lot of things to reinforce our faith. We do a lot of things to douse the doubt that we have lived with for years, because at certain points, we have to have faith in God, and your faith is not going to be reinforced by your fellow human beings, because your fellow human beings are in the same struggle that you're in. And it's not being selfish, it's just being human, and we all have a particular duty to ourselves to figure ourselves out. So when you're in that everlasting search of trying to figure out who you are, I think we do a lot of things to reinforce or mature the strengths that we have, and give our self-validation to who we are, to make sure that we mean something, and it's a badge to us, and we put ourselves through situations to know we exist, to know that we're living. And I definitely believe that the course of me doing Spartan Beast races were strongly along the lines of development, me enriching or me maturing skill set, hidden potential, fear of being who I am. This all over the course of these probably about 5 years has continued to mold me for the best. I mean, these Spartan races have happened to come in line with a lot of trials and tribulations of the self within these last years, and they kind of like coincide together. So year after year, I kept going back when I said I never go back, because I think I needed to be reinforced. You need your force to be your faith to be reinforced. You need yourself to be reinforced. I mean, I'm an inspiration tool. I'm a motivation tool, and alongside of that, the self needed to be fed. And as I come upon this ultra, which is probably the biggest of the biggest, it's 26 miles. I think about 4 years. What a buddy told me, buddy Scott. He had a speech about mental grit, mindset, and at that time, I was inspired by him, because he's a trainer too. He had his own place, business mind, and he was giving me a speech on mental grit. And at that time, I was watching him do the beast race, and I wasn't participating in. I was about 290 pounds, just bench pressing and deadlifting. And to this day, I look back on that video, because we have been united again to close the chapter on the beast races with this ultra. We're both old in the game. We both change lives for a living every single day. We've been beating on our bodies year after year. And this is definitely going to be a personal signature badge for both of us. I mean, even though our lives are strategically different, I think we share a common bond, and always trying to figure the self out. No pun intended to the people around us, no pun intended to the loved ones, but in discovering yourself, you're going to do a lot of things. And you're going to go through a lot of choices that may seem like they're just bent on intentions about the self, but it's really about discovery. We're all doing a lot of discovery on ourselves, and I'm definitely using this ultra as discovery. And this ultra is going to be a summation of a big portion of Darren Kane's life. And we all have different mindset. We all have different understanding. I'm not doing it because I'm enthusiastic about running 26 miles in a terrainal tough obstacle course. I'm not in it for that. I'm in it because I'm proving to myself that I could stretch my mind to higher margins and higher limits, and I can get the job done when I put my mindset to it. I can be consistent. I can follow through. If I say something, I try to stick close to what I say and live it. And the ultra will pull out what you have inside of you. You ain't gonna go up there faking. You ain't gonna go up there for show. It's easy to be great in public, but on that mountain, it's just you. It's just you, and what you have inside is gonna prevail. It's gonna separate you from if you're about it or you're not about it. You can have all the motivation in the world. You could have all the support in the world, but at the end of the day, you're the one that's gonna have to bring the A game to the mountain. You gotta hold your own. The support is just gonna contribute, but 70 to 80% has to be well established inside you to complete these kind of courses. It's beyond physical capabilities. It's being challenged with quit. It's being challenged with giving up. You're going to be faced with a lot of doubtful feelings and exhausted feelings that's gonna try and press you. And I know this is what I'm up against. And I've been up against these situations, but this is probably about 10 timefold of what I've been against. So I do contemplate. And you're headed into uncharted territory. You're heading into the unknown. The courses are always different. You just don't know. You could train, you could practice, you could do your nutrition down to the science. Anything is possible that day, just like in life. We're here today, we're going tomorrow. You don't get anxiety about the future. You don't try to control the present. You just got to go with the flow. So when you're on that mountain, you got to go as it comes and put your best in. So like I said, I look back on that original video 4 years ago, but Scott told me about mental grit. I had the mental grit, but the grit definitely has matured now. And on April 30th, we shall see. We shall see what it's all about. We're going to see. We're going to see what's going to happen then. Stay tuned.
Yeah, again, another time. As you say?
You're a finely tuned athletic machine like me. You gotta take care of yourself.
Okay.
You gotta want it, man. It's gotta come from the heart, okay? It's gotta come from inside. When you wanna quit about mile 8 and you look down and you see all these wannabes that are starting to fail off, it's all mental. You stick with me, Darren. I'll teach you about mental toughness. I'll take that in my wing for a couple years.
Is that mental grit?
Mentally tough, mentally gritty.
Mental grit, that is?
Don't know how to get the job done. That's a mindset.